So our third panel discussion is about to begin, and we have a novice panel waiting with us. It is about the word which the world is abuzz with, CHAT GPT. So we're here to discuss the impact of CHAT GPT on the learning and skilling industry. Please join me to welcome our esteemed panelists and guests from diverse walks of life to add that extra zing to the ensuing discussion. But before that, let me take the opportunity of introducing the panelists to you. Mr. Ashish Vaishnava, a man of few words, is the founder CEO of AV Golf. But besides being a golf course architect, Aashish is a spiritual author and philosopher. Ashish is actively involved in the planning of various real estate projects in the country, which include golf course, sports fields, and high-end resort facilities. The total project area ranging from 5 to a whopping 1,200 acres. Wow. A management graduate from IIMK with diverse experience in the field of luxury real estate, golf courses, golf resorts, luxury landscapes, lifestyle sports, and exotic tourism makes him one of the most reputed professionals in the country. A very, very warm welcome to you, Ashish, and hope you have a great discussion.
Thank you, Nilakshi. Thank you very much for the beautiful introduction. Can you see me, my video? Can you see my
video? Yes. No, I can't see your video now.
Okay. Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes, Ashish.
Okay, great. Yes. Wonderful.
Bright and nice. Moving on to our next panelist, Ms. Nirupama VG, founder and managing director at Astra. What a dynamic lady is Nirupama. She's a serial entrepreneur and co-founder of 4 of India's largest recruitment solutions firms. She's the brain behind Astra, which is India's largest full suite recruitment solutions firm today. She sits in the board of AI-driven tech firm in the HR space, which is growing rapidly, a stalwart in the recruitment industry, and has featured in the Forbes Marquee for taking her firm global. A very warm welcome to you, Nirupama. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Nilakshi, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you. Mr. Rajesh Jain, CHRO Welspun. Rajesh is a business leader turned HR leader with extensive and diverse experience in developing and executing business strategies through aligned and robust HR strategies. He has worked in diverse industries such as office automation, technical service, power, renewable energy, financial services, manufacturing, and infrastructure development. Over the last 30 years, he has served in large enterprises such as Xerox, Eaton, Suzlon, Shrey, and currently working as the CHRO of Welspun Enterprises Limited at Mumbai. Rajesh is an experienced senior assessor of the Malcolm Baldrige Business Excellence Model, the CII HR Excellence Model as well. He's also an active MBA program lecturer, a marathoner, and a trained trainer. Very warm welcome to you, Rajesh.
Thank you. Thank you.
And last, but certainly not the least, let me take the pleasure of introducing our moderator, Mr. Shantanu Rooj. Shantanu, founder and CEO, TeamLease Edtech. Shantanu is the founder and CEO of TeamLease Edtech, India's leading learning solutions company, providing comprehensive services across universities and corporates. In his current role, he oversees strategic operations, P&L management, special projects, etc., managing the overall organization's growth trajectory. An IIT and IIM Calcutta alumnus, he is widely recognized as a serial entrepreneur who has successfully led his ventures to successful IPO acquisitions, started his career with HCL. Shantanu took his first step into entrepreneurship with Paradigm Infotech Limited, which had a successful IPO in 2005. Subsequently, he founded Broadline Technologies Limited, which swiftly evolved into a significantly managed services player in the education industry. Broadline was acquired by a large listed company in India in 2009. With a vision of making India employable, Shantanu founded TeamLease Edtech, formerly known as Fool Guru EduServe, in 2012. TeamLease Edtech is India's leading learning solutions company. It helps universities launch, run, and manage their own online programs, helps institutes improve employability of their students through its apprenticeship linking skilling programs, and help corporates upskill and reskill their workforce to improve productivity and build talent supply chain. TeamLease Edtech has exclusive partnership with 50 of India's largest universities across 16 Indian states, trains about 5 lakh students on its platform through 9 Indian languages, and works with 4,500 corporates in their upskilling and skilling initiatives. Shantanu is a passionate business strategy professional, a serial entrepreneur, and a columnist, and has been speaking, writing extensively about his vision of University 4.0, the future of higher education. Thank you, Shantanu, for taking it over from me here.
Thank you, Nilakshi. Pleasure joining the panel today. And welcome, Aashish. Welcome, Nirupama. Welcome, Rajesh.
Thank you, Shantanu.
So all of us have been hearing the interesting terminology, CHAT GPT. And with it, we also learned a few new terminologies. Somebody called it generative AI. So my first question to you, Nirupama, is what is this generative AI? And why is the hype? Why is it so important? What is so different about generative AI?
Thanks. I think that's a wonderful question, Shantanu. There's so much of talk about AI in general. Forget about the generative AI, right? The way it's turning around, I think most of the people are so scared. Fear is so much in the forefront than anything else. Even people who don't know about it have a fear. Right? So the important thing is to kind of know what generative AI is all about. And anybody who uses CHAT GPT or is starting to use CHAT GPT will understand how it is really helping a layman to the most intelligent people. For example, the backbenchers or the middle benchers in any school or college never had an opportunity to really show their communication skills, because this is really the revolution in communication. The mobiles did in a different way, and this is doing it in a different way. This morning, I asked ChatGPT to write a poem, and it wrote such a beautiful poem. And it may not be to the extent of the language that we know. So today, somebody who's not educated well or who doesn't know a language can really go there, and it will produce data which will, surprise you. So generative AI is all about giving you very customized solution. So you go to, for example, Google and search something, it's going to give you 10 things, right? 10 sites where you can go and visit and get the data. Here it compresses everything and gives you what you are looking for. So the most important thing for people would also be the questions that they ask, like we say in coaching, right? Since I'm a coach, I can talk about it. The questions you ask are most important for ChatGPT. So it's, as the name denotes, it's artificial intelligence, right? So the data is all there, the answers are all there. So it's the question that you ask which will give you that data. So it will be so helpful to all those people who can ask the right questions, and it will generate stuff in a way that is useful to one. So it's here to stay. One doesn't need to get scared. It will only enhance one's knowledge.
Thank you so much. That's such a nice way to explain what generative AI is all about. Aashish, would you like to add to what Nirupama said? What's, in your opinion, is this concept of generative AI, and how is it different from everything that we have seen in the past?
AI has been there. Probably, I would say Siri has been there, and Google Assistant has been there. It's similar to that. We ask Siri, how is the weather today, and it gives us the weather. Similar way, we need to understand in a very simple way, it's a technology which helps you give human type answers to your questions, and whatever you are seeking for, it summarizes or expands or detail it out for you. It's an assistant for you. I think the most important thing we need to understand is that it's a tool by the end of the day. Artificial intelligence, like any other, like we are using Zoom, or how mobile phones came in. Do you remember we used to use fax, we used to send letters, we used to have pager, all has been replaced by mobile phones now. And the same way, now the OTT platform came in, we were scared that the cinema halls won't work. So we have been, in a journey of seeing so many technologies coming in, and we need to take it as a tool rather than getting scared and intimidated by it, because it's just to enhance the human experience and give you some kind of help and make your work efficient. And later as we go, we'll discuss about some pros and cons of it. But I think in simple words, it is a tool which is there to help you out and make your life easier if you know how to use it properly.
So well said. So well said. Thank you so much, Ashish and Nirupama.
Thanks,
That's the point. Next question to you, Rajesh. So what Ashish and Nirupama are saying is that this is a tool which can answer questions, which can write poems, which can write codes, explain different things. Someone told me in the morning today that you can even create a website. Just tell him, create a website for me, something like that. So in your opinion, is this a real change, or is this just a hype which will die down soon? Is this a passing shower, or is this climate change?
No. It's a climate change for sure. So, so just to add on to what Nirupama and Ashish said, you see, we have we never used to call it artificial intelligence those days, but even, there used to be manual lifts, you remember? So we used to go to the lift and, there is a lift operator, you tell them or where to go and he would press the buttons. And even when there are 4 lifts all tied together, you press the button and the logic decides which lift will come to you, right, at whatever floor you are. So there is some intelligence already built in, wo hardwire hoti thi in the, so I am an electronics engineer, so I understand with the logics, we were able to, with the AND gates, NOR gate, AND gate, etc., we used to make logics, and that was an intelligence which was displayed and, in our appliances. Now, what is happening here is, it is not only a platform where the knowledge or the resources are aggregated, but generative AI means that this platform can create original version of their answers, like human beings. So therefore, compare it with the human beings because he apna original content create karta, right? So therefore, based on the questions, as Nirupama rightly mentioned, question is very important. Based on the question, based upon the data given, and based upon what you want, how you want, this is a brilliant platform, and it actually give you original answers. It can do wonders for you. I think a lot of things are going to become so simple, fast, and a lot of accuracy in our further analysis is going to come.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And I'm seeing very different type of opinions coming from all 3 of you. Somebody says it's interesting, somebody says powerful, somebody says just a tool, just know how to use it. And somebody thinks that is scary at times, right? So coming back to our main topic about the impact of CHAT GPT in training and learning and corporate training and everything else, my next question to you, Nirupama, is the fact that, do you think that this tool can help personalized learning? Because in the world of education, I've been into this world for almost 1.5 decades now. We have always complained that one size fits all doesn't work, right? So every human being is different. We are all organic creatures, and we all have our own style, on our pace, on our preferences when it comes to learning and teaching. So in this case, can this tool be used for personalization of learning, where it can provide customized explanations and everything else? How do you think that tool can be used by education professionals?
Absolutely. I think since you come from that profession, I think the question coming from you, I'm able to understand where you're coming from. The answer is a big yes, a capital S, if I may say, because like you said, everybody's learning capabilities are also different. If they're in the same class, to the learning capabilities, the learning abilities are very, very different. So if you go to CHAT GPT and you kind of want to learn something, it's only going to improve, because it's just the beginning. It's only going to improve. And it will not only help them learn, it will also help them enhance. It takes them to a different level, right? I think Bill Gates said it'll do a job of a white collar assistant for you. But I think as days goes by, it may even do much more than that, because each one has an opinion as to how it will help as of now, based on what they have seen now. But if you are going to see improvisations coming in, I think over a period, there'll be customized learning for every individual. So that's critical. So people can customize it to their own interest, to their own languages, to the level at which they can understand, and it can also take you back step by step into how you want to learn. Perhaps it will also understand at what level you can learn something. The AI itself can understand over a period what level and what duration you take to learn, and then kind of re-engineer that. So in a way, I feel it's very good for people who really want to learn and understand things, because it will be at a pace at which you can do it. It will be in a language that you can understand. It's also, in many ways, the time and the duration, you can fix it. So I think the world will change from an education perspective, and a lot of new stuff that one can pick up from CHAT GPT. So it's an enhancer. It will only enhance and take even the people who are not so intelligent or not so good, or who are not even learning at a certain pace, help them also to learn. So I feel it will really enhance and balance the learning for everybody.
Agree with you. So even before Chat GPT was announced, AI was anyway making learning more adaptive. It said that it could provide personalized content to learners based on their cognitive abilities and their learning speed. And now with Chat GPT, possibly they can also generate content depending on the needs and the likely the way preferences of a particular learner. Thank you so much, Nirupama. Coming back to you, Aashish. Just about 2 days back, I read somewhere in the newspaper, Amity University said that they have launched their first AI professor powered by Chat GPT. And though it made great headlines, I just want to know your perspective. Does Chat GPT make the presence of a trainer, the faculty, the teacher, the guru unnecessary, or it's just really becomes superfluous?
Sure. So before answering that particular question, I would like to put focus on, earlier we are evolving, right? We all are evolving. How we see how the generation is evolving. Earlier, information was very important. Anybody with information was supposed to be an intelligent person, right? Then information became, that person was called knowledgeable person. Now, the person who can efficiently use and implement the knowledge is someone looking forward to, that becomes an intelligent person. Now with Chat GPT and with all this artificial intelligence, we are getting into a new era where efficient implementation of knowledge and knowing and scrutinizing your information knowledge all together and getting a skill, which is, I would say, enhanced by the artificial tools or AI, is something which would be called an intelligent person. I should know how to use the AI to enhance my knowledge so that my wisdom increases, so my efficiency increases. Now, coming back to your particular question about Amity, looking forward to have an AI professor. We need to understand that AI is there, but there is something called EI, emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence can never be replaced by artificial intelligence, right? The personal skills, the personal human interaction is something which will always be required. We are social animals by the end of the day, right? So I feel like any other professor, there could be an AI professor. Like, you remember, we used to go for our C++ and to the computer labs and learn how to do coding and all that. Same way, the AI will have to the AI professor would come in and give his insights on a particular thing. But I don't think that would replace the real, teaching scenario, or the professors coming in, having the emotional connect with the students, having that personalized, interactions. So I think that is something which would not fade away. And also, very important thing, things take time. Mobile phones came in, but it took almost a decade to get over to everyone in their pocket. So same way, AI would take time. Let's not worry about it. And, and we will also adapt. Now, how easy it is to use the phone. We were reluctant earlier. We didn't know how to use it. Now everybody knows how to use a phone. So same way, we'll know how to use AI for our own benefit. I hope that answers.
Yeah. So I agree with you that the human beings bring something very different, which is empathy and which is social intelligence.
Yes.
And that's difficult for machines to replicate, at least for the foreseeable future. Agree with you that will always have a relevance. That brings me to my next question to you, Rajesh. And you made a comment while you said that this advent of CHAT GPT is actually climate change. It's not just a passing shower. It's changing lots of things, and possibly the way we see learning, training, skilling will possibly look very different because of the advent of this type of technology. However, there is a different thought world where there are few experts who tell us that we're not sure whether this is an overhyped technology, because its performance in real life situations is yet to be tested, right? So even today, it can't handle complex questions. For example, the accuracy and reliability of the information that it shows up is a suspect. So what do you think? Are there really these challenges, or it's just evolution phase?
So to straight away answer your question, it is an evolution phase. First of all, I can tell you, because I have been extensive user of CHAT GPT for the last about 2 months. And I can tell you that I am, since this is a session about learning and development, I am learning Marathi through CHAT GPT. I am learning through a lot of new things through CHAT GPT. I am learning wherever I am not very good at HR frameworks themselves, I learn it from CHAT GPT. I can give you an example, from the customized point of view. I wanted to understand about new hydrogen, the green hydrogen, and it gave me an answer. And then I asked her that show me a block diagram, and it actually created a block diagram for me. So which means that whatever way I can understand, the CHAT GPT produced it that way. So customization also she did. Correct. The only thing is, this is current version of CHAT GPT is based on the data which they captured till September 2021. So which means the knowledge which it has is dated. Okay, so 21 के बाद का updation अभी नहीं हुआ है, which is version 3. GPT version 4 is awaited. GPT version 4 maybe 22, 23 तक रहेगा. So to that extent, the evolution, as you were saying, certain things will get added, and it is being added continuously. Additional thing is, because it is in addition to the artificial intelligence, this has a component of machine learning, which means that with every conversation it is going through, and because it is one platform being used worldwide, it is becoming more and more intelligent, right? So therefore, what is happening is, day by day, every passing day, this is going to become more intelligent. Every passing day, its capabilities are going to increase. The learning and development is going to see a major shift, in the sense there is no major shift. The only shift is the process of learning is going to change majorly. So Aashish, I will say that, that 90% of the teaching AI professor can do, maybe 95% content wise.
Yeah.
My personal experience, okay, I mean, again, because I have experienced myself, it is only the persuasiveness. For example, मेरी class में अगर 10 बच्चे, so as a teacher I will understand किस बच्चे को क्या समझ नहीं आ रहा, right? And if that बच्चा doesn't ask questions, CHAT GPT can answer only if you ask questions. No? अगर वो बच्चा क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा तो प्रोफेसर को समझ आएगा, प्रोफेसर कैन डू सम इंटरवेंशन. इसके अलावा प्रोफेसर का कोई काम बचा नहीं. So everything CHAT GPT, because I have seen asking them, it gives me an answer and say, I don't like your answer. Tell me more about these two things, or convert it into something of this form, and it reacts. And I can tell you, because it is evolving, इसके answer हमेशा 100 accurate नहीं होते, generic भी आते हैं. But then obviously अपना human factor बिल्कुल कम नहीं होगा. So it becomes a very good guide.
Yeah. Agree with you. And this one, so Aashish made a very interesting point there when he said that in today's world where Google knows everything, there's no premium to just knowing something.
Yes.
Knowing how to apply that is more important than just the knowledge in itself.
Yeah.
And Rajesh, you are a true HR professional. The way you assigned a female gender to CHAT GPT, I love that. And
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Love your ability to visualize that today. women are actually surpassing men in very different areas. Yeah, great observation there, Rajesh. Coming back to you, Nirupama. So there are many different things that we have been struggling with when it comes to training, learning, and teaching. One amongst them is accessibility. Accessibility of because of networks, because of devices, because of languages, because of pedagogies. There are so many different ways accessibility has been challenged. Does CHAT GPT help in areas to improve accessibility of teaching and learning?
No, absolutely. I mean, I feel it will come to an extent to which somebody doesn't have to go to school at some point, and they can have group learning, they can chat on the group and learn, or individually learn. But that aside, I think you raised a very important question, because if as long as you have an internet connection, which is today available in most places, and it's only going to improve, people can just sit on a beach and learn what they want to learn. Right? They can sit in their hut and learn what they have to learn. And if you see the smaller towns, everybody knows how to use a smartphone, right? So they just have to log in and check out and customize it for their language. I think Rajesh said he tried it out himself to learn Marathi. Now I'm tempted to learn more languages that way. And the nicest thing is we can make time, because now I can't say I don't have time to learn. I can learn in the night, or I can learn in the morning. You can learn at your convenience. You can learn in the language that you want to. And you can also reach out to people to check there's something else that we can do together, and then try the same thing across. So while you will have some human interactions to learn and do, I think a majority of your problems you can do at your pace, at your location, wherever you are in the world. It just doesn't matter. So you don't need to perhaps take leave anymore from school or colleges, right? Because you can catch up for the week at a time that's convenient to you. Let's say morning, you're busy with something, then in the evening or afternoon, you can catch up with something. And what is more important is that different people can do things very differently. So some can learn languages, some can learn math, some can learn science, and they can also collaborate at some point in time. I think that will be the key for people, because, while the mission can help you so much, you still have that. I mean, that will not be taken out. In my mind, even if it is 10 if 10 people are doing work on analysis, it may happen that it just one guy is doing it tomorrow. That interface will still be there, but it may go to 40:1, right? But it will not be zero. It will never be zero, because there'll always be interfaces. It's almost like, when you had your cameras coming on iPhone. I remember I used to work with Apple and do a lot of work for recruitment with them. And everybody said, the cameras are all going to go away. No, the cameras have not gone away. They've all got enhanced. And, one of my colleagues was sharing with me saying, when he was young as a baby, his photographs were taken, once in a year by his dad. And today he's telling almost everything that his child is doing. He's able to take photographs and collate it and keep it, right? So this kind of a learning, in any way, AI is helping you, whether on photographs, whether on movies, whether on maths, whether on science. I think it's going to be a huge game changer from a perspective that anywhere, any place, any language, you can learn. I think that's the crux of the whole thing, and the joy of learning wherever you are. I think that can be tremendous for people.
Very rightly said. I really agree with you when you said it, how it democratizes learning in this case, where in a country like India, where the shortage of faculty, at least good quality faculty, has always been a problem for all of us. And this has been a problem in the system for quite some time. The way this AI softwares, engines, or tools are actually making sure the learning is omnipresent everywhere in the air. It's really interesting way to demonstrate the power of technology like this. Coming back to you, Rajesh. So in your role as a CHRO in Welspun, when you look at corporate training, corporate learning for your employees, there are many different aspects that come to my mind in terms of need identification, how a training is designed, how it's delivered, how it's effectively measured, evaluated. How do you think a technology like CHAT GPT can make corporate training more efficient, more effective, and more engaging?
So I'll give you two answers for this. One answer is from my heart. That answer says Chat GPT will not solve corporate HR problems, because Chat GPT learning is for the people who wants to learn by heart. I will ask questions only if I want to ask questions. Chat GPT is not going to force me to ask questions, right? So therefore, as the saying says, the teacher appears when the student is ready. In corporate world, the students are hardly ready. So, there are people who force people to become students. Chat GPT will not force people to become students, right? So we tell them these are your training needs. Boss tells you learn this. That person will say, okay, if you want me to learn this, I will learn this. But by heart, nobody wants to learn, or they want to learn something else. What the corporate want to teach, they don't want to. So therefore, these artificial problems which we have created by virtue of whatever American frameworks we have brought in, that Chat GPT will not be able to solve. However, the seekers, as per as Buddhist and Hindu mythology, the people who are seekers के लिए Chat GPT is a blessing. But so now that is the answer by heart. However, there are ways, because Chat GPT can help you getting the TNIs done, because Chat GPT is capable of giving you some questionnaire. They can ask you certain questions based upon the inputs we give them to design a questionnaire to understand the training need identification. Chat GPT will do that. फिर आप उसको forcefully employees को दोगे, employees will fill those up. And the Chat GPT is intelligent enough to interpret those answers and bring back what developmental interventions are required. So therefore, that all those things Chat GPT will do. But whether learning will happen or not, I have no comments.
This is a true HR professional talking about how learning can only happen if the learner wants to learn, not when the corporate wants to teach them. Very well said. But then for people who are seekers, there's definitely a great opportunity.
Absolutely. This is biggest thing which has happened on earth for seekers.
No different from the way I understood the word education is. The role of a teacher is to be thinking like a farmer, where he creates the right conditions, but ultimately there has to be learners who are interested in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great way of thinking about this. Coming back to you, Aashish. So one of the stuff that we have been always struggling with in this learning, training, and teaching world is the availability of high quality content which are interesting, content which are stories, content which are scenarios, content which are characters, which are plots. Does Chat GPT help create interesting content which then can attract large number of learners, the way Rajesh said?
Yes.
How does it help?
So first of all, I agree with what Rajesh ji mentioned about when the seeker is ready, the guru comes in. In the spiritual world, I would say that when the disciple is ready, the guru is there to give you insights. So now we need to understand the biggest advantage of Chat GPT is one artificial AI tool. There are so many now coming in, right? So when I say Chat GPT, we should consider AI, working for us. So I think the biggest learning and the biggest tool it has for us is saving time. We can save a lot of time. We don't need to go through a lot of information, compile them, go through them, waste time on that, which can be simplified. Now you can enhance that. Now, same way, when you say about content, I'm a writer, I'm an author, I always used to, when I'm writing something, especially, I need to have a lot of information coming in. I need to go through a lot of my other, books which I have been reading. Now with Chat GPT, it gives me a lot of, it enhances my skills. Now, when you say content, it can give you a lot of content, but ultimately it's your skill, how you use that content, which comes from Chat GPT. It saves time. Now you have a lot of time for your creative thoughts to come into picture. You don't need to do that repetitive work which you used to do earlier to compile information, make content. Somebody else is doing that for you, and that's AI. So now your creativity, your innovation, your insights can go much deeper into creating much better content than you could do earlier because you were wasting so much time in gathering information. So I think this is an enhancing tool for content creators, but there would be a lot of issues for content creators, accountants, lawyers. They need to get, they are the one who need to get adapted to AI as soon as possible, because they are there. These tools are going to enhance their skills. Don't take it as a competition. Learn it. It's like when I started designing, we used to do it on draft papers and all that. Now we have AutoCAD. We have got so many tools. We are using those tools to give a nice design to our clients and get something made on ground. So this is the tool which we are using. Same way, we'll use that AI tool for the content and enhance our creativity. I think this is my take on that.
So a follow-up question to that, Aashish, is does CHAT GPT or such AI tools help create video content out of textual material? Can it do that at this point in time?
Yes, I've seen some of the contents on YouTube, because to be very frank, I also got very intimidated when I heard about Chat GPT. I'll be very frank. So I wanted to know more about it, because unless until you don't, why are you scared? Because you don't have information about it. We get scared of the police around us or lawyers because we don't know our fundamental rights. That's why we are scared. So we need to know more. So I did do my research on that. People use content from Chat GPT. They use other AI tools to generate images and short videos. They compile that. Even Chat GPT or such tools make you write a script. What should come first for a video? It can write the entire script based on what you prompt. I think asking question is like giving the right prompt to the AI chat. You know what? Like there is a Midjourney or DALL-E. They create photographs out of your prompts. Same way, there are short video generating AI tools. All of that combined can generate an AI video, but you need to combine. There has to be a driver driving all this, and that's you. So that is what's happening. So yes, you can generate, audiovisual content using AI.
Thank you, Ashish. So Nirupama, that brings a question in my mind that have you seen, because you deal with so many companies and deal with so many HR professionals in your normal job, I mean, have you come across scenarios where possibly L&D managers are evaluating if they can create a personalized learning prescription for a particular employee? An employee is struggling with something and has sudden opening balance of competencies and his skill sets. Can it be fed into Chat GPT to create a personalized learning path for this particular person? Is there a use case like that?
I think people are just beginning to do that. So I think it's a little too early because they're just checking it out. And I think, initially they were in awe with it. But now I think people have started using it, and I hear companies are checking that out, because it's like your 5 fingers, right? Everybody has a different way. Everybody has different timelines in which they can learn. So many of them are trying to do that. We with our own trainers and coaching people, we have asked them to check out if they can create something like that, and they're the process of checking out. But what is advanced more than training and learning is on the recruitment space itself. Like I went to a client the other day, and he wanted a CFO, and so I said, "Do you have a JD?" And he just typed out and pulled out a JD, and he just went through it for 30 seconds and said, "This is exactly what I need." And I was so zapped. And this guy said he's using it because he's setting up a new firm. And he's just giving the questions there, and then he's asking what are the other positions for similar companies that is available, what are the JDs, and he's structuring his organization based on the inputs Chat GPT is giving, and Chat GPT is giving the job descriptions for the roles. It's amazing to see this, the kind of transformation that is happening, and what would take a lot of time for people to talk to their HR teams, and then they will sit there with the hiring managers to draft it, understand. It's just taking a minute today. So it's very, very surprising, and it's 10 times better than what one would write. That's what he told me. And when I saw the JD, even I was quite zapped. A lot of this repetitive stuff, I think is changing the world. So you can't obviously say, give me a job description for a CFO. Then it will give you a general one. It will not be useful to you. So you need to say you're a startup, you need to say you're in the retail space or in the IT space. You just need to say, what is the kind of revenues you are going to do, what is the plan, and it can even write a plan for you, a business plan for you. It can write reports for you, the monthly reports. It can write the minutes of the meeting for you. So a lot of this repetitive stuff, I think from an overall perspective and also from a HR perspective, it can be taken and can also be customized. Like I said, it can be, the training can be customized, recruitment can be customized. And over a period of time, I think if the insights that you may have on certain things, you just have to ask. I think Rajesh put it so beautifully. I think he went to our gurus, right? If the seeker is there, I think, those days, I don't think they talked about it as CHAT GPT. They talked about it as gurus, and you were learning under the trees. So, it's amazing. And from what Aashish said too, the way it can enhance and, create things for you. I think, I think it will not only shorten the learning phase, but it will also improve it so much more better.
Okay. Understood that. Now, Rajesh, just help me understand. You, during your last comment, you mentioned that Chat GPT, the pre-trained transformer, is actually trained in 2021 data. I thought I heard that. So, which means that the training provided to this tool is dated at this point in time and needs to become continuously trained. Now, my question in my mind is that when you say it's trained, it means somebody else is trained. Now, unless I can train this AI ML tool to my specific case, my specific industry, and provide a detailed training to him, how do I personalize this? How do I make its answers and its responses more specific and accurate? Is there a way to train this type of tools today, or is it there in the pipeline in the future?
Good question. So I'll take it up. So first of all, when I said September 2021, so the data, the global data which it has, see, which is Chat GPT's resources, they are updated up till September 2021. But training, because of the machine learning aspect, it keeps on training itself regularly. So training doesn't stop in 21. Training is continued. However, the database is dated. So for example, if you ask her a question which pertains to 2022, it very politely says that my data is till 21. So 22 mein kya hua, I may not know. Okay. So that is one. Now coming to the customization. In fact, I had this discussion with Chat GPT itself. So hearing from the horse's mouth, the answer was that this is a generic tool available for the whole world at a given point in time, right? Obviously, so everything happens with that data. The engine is the same, right? What changes at times is, yes, they have paid versions. For example, as Welspun, I can buy a paid version. Okay, that paid version may be faster. The paid version may be they have more features. The paid version can be
more comprehensive.
Correct. So all those things can happen. And even today, for example, when I ask Chat GPT some questions and I say that, I'm talking from the point of view of Welspun Enterprises Limited, and I will tell her some data, other data she will pick from the existing information on the web or wherever on Welspun Enterprises, and it will quickly bring that understanding in. So ये इसको मेरे को अलग से Welspun Enterprise के बारे में train करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So what it already does, it will tell you in Welspun Enterprises the values are so and so, बिना उसको बताए हुए आपका value ये है, आपका ये है, उसके हिसाब से ऐसा होना चाहिए. So therefore the intelligence is tremendous, I can tell you even today. However, customization at times, for example, we use another tool which is based on artificial intelligence, which is backed by GPT, Chat GPT. So there we are gathering the people voices, and there is a bot, her name is Amber, and that bot talks to the employees as if a person is interacting with them. So that is artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence, because it creates its own responses also. So therefore, there some customization is happening because it is talking to my team based upon the problem posed by them and the issues which in CHAT GPT's library already exist. So that kind of a customization is possible. CHAT GPT is offering those services. The organization is offering those services. However, the larger platform database tool is general.
Understood. So whatever is available publicly on the web or internet is something that it can learn from. But however, in case you have your own personal data which is not available on the web and you want the transformer to train on that, possibly that will come up in the paid versions in future.
Still, we don't have an example wherein we provide some data. When you are asking the questions, you can give as many details. For example, as Nirupama was saying, that somebody said JD quickly ban jata hai. So while I want her to make a JD, so if I give her more information about the role, the JD becomes more accurate. So there, what I'm doing is I'm customizing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I say,
these are still very generic examples, but a specific example would be case that when you can feed your last 4 years sales data, your leads and conversions and sales.
I checked such a platform is not available as far as my knowledge is concerned, but we can still check. I cannot provide a backend say my data nahi dal sakta.
But that's what I meant is that since you can't do it today, but in some time in future, possibly there will be ways where you can train this transform using your own personal data in the company.
It is still not available that.
So CHAT GPT doesn't have that. Maybe some other AI engines have started thinking in those lines. Thanks.
I know about Bard also. Bard is on the same. Bard is even more generic.
I think I would like to add here that Google is working on having your own AI tool for your organization where you feed in the information based on your database. So it will have the privacy and it will work only for your organization. So whatever information you will feed in for your organization, for your company, it will cater for that as a tool. So that is something Google is working on. I was, watching their launch for that, the Bard. They are working on that. Yeah, absolutely. It's like intranet. It's like internet versus intranet. Same way, there would be a bot for you, for your personalized organization. Yeah.
So Aashish, did your research also throw up interesting facts about whether technologies like CHAT GPT can gamify education? Because in training and education industry, we realize that unless you gamify this, engaging becomes very difficult, and dropout rate, success rate, course completion rates have been challenged all this while. Does it help gamify education to some extent?
I think it will help people to feel confident when they're learning, because they have somebody as a tool to enhance and tool to support them, right? Say, for example, I would like to write another book. Now I won't have the writer's block because I have somebody helping me out to give me some more ideas to write the book, right? Even it can be anything. So it can help me feel that I have somebody backing me up. I'm stuck. I've got some problem to solve. And I would go to CHAT GPT and find a way out how to crack that. But I have one concern, especially for the younger generation. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, is that if I am too dependent on a tool like this, whether I'll be using my brain to, get over that kind of problem, because problem solving is also neuroplasticity. Getting a ready-made answer might not help me use my brain the way I used to use earlier. That is something which clicks on my mind. So maybe that enhancing or the gamifying this entire process some way may affect our thought process and the learning curve or that neuroplasticity. Do you have anything on that, Shantanu? I would like to ask you now. You've been asking us, but do you think, am I on the right line?
No, so what I meant is I want to differentiate gamification from game-based learning. And I thought that using of motivational stuff like leadership boards, the way they give points, they give scorecards and those badges and stuff like that, at times help retain people on the platform than leaving them away. That's what my question, but happy to understand your perspective about how you talked about the game-based learning instead of gamification, but that was interesting. Coming back to you, Nirupama, now changing my track now. So all of these are good when it comes to Chat GPT, but I have also seen that in some countries and some organizations, there's been a very strong antibiotic relationship, reaction to a technology like this. People think that it can take away jobs. It can actually make people unemployed in times of environments. It's a technology to be feared about. What is your opinion on that?
It's a good question, because I think most people are thinking on those lines. And it's important to understand that anything that is new always has resistance. Right? Acceptance takes a long time with anything that is new, starting from a wedding. Right? You get married and it takes time. So you expect that to, immediately to understand the person the next minute. It doesn't happen, right? So it's the same way. And there will be resistance because, if I have to quote the analogy of the wedding, they'll say, I was not brought up like this. This is how I have all through been, and this is the way I eat. This is the way I do things. Similarly, if you apply in a larger perspective, there will be a lot of resistance because many of them, I think, are scared for the sake of being scared, without even knowing what it is. I think there's fear psychosis, one. So that, I think, people will get over it. Two, even though some countries even want to ban it and stuff like that, I think it's here to stay. Because what people need to understand is it's only going to enhance your learning. It's only going to improve you, right? While it may take away a few jobs that are repetitive in nature, like I said, it may become 1:10, 1:40 ratio. Instead of just 40 people, one person may be working. But then really your insights, your wisdom, and your interaction, the vibes that you can, those are never going to stop, right? It's all here to stay. So at the end of the day, if you are able to use it meaningfully, it will enhance and take the world to a different level. And at the touch of a button, you can get meaningful information, because Chat GPT is just one way of looking at it. And there are several things that will come in. So instead of having a fear, because 10 or let's say 30 years back, when the mobile phones were not there, if somebody was talking on the road and just, putting their hand on the ear and going, you would have thought the guy is mad. Right, but today you're not bothered. You're saying he's just kind of on the mobile talking, and so the same way, people will get used to it after some time. So what they would have thought, a retarded guy is doing talking on the road, is today seeing as he's having a meaningful conversation with somebody. I feel Chat GPT is revolutionizing communication, is revolutionizing the way we interact, is revolutionizing customization of things for you. I mean, what you would take ages to even think through. I think Aashish has written books. So when you write a book, the amount of thinking you have to go through is so high. Here, you can think along with Chat GPT. So in terms of saving of time, in terms of the inputs, in terms of the customization, and to also improve your own thinking processes, I think it's like an assistant next door. Right, you can chat, but then yes, it's not with blood, and it's not made out of blood. It's not something that you can smile at you. It can throw up data that you can smile from, but it cannot smile and laugh with you. So it's very important for everybody to understand that, first understand what it can do and what it cannot do.
Yeah.
And take it on to help you in what ways it can help you, and strengthen yourself, rather than, just have the fear and not touch it at all. That's the way I look at it. If there are drawbacks, you don't need to go into that, because, I think over a period, everybody will know how to handle it. It's a question of understanding without having any fear, conceptually, and then using it for your own benefit.
Rajesh, how do you think? Is the technology, I want to reserve my opinion at this stage, but I want to know what you think about it. Is the technology really innocuous? I mean, is harmless? I mean, some of my friends tell me that the advent of Chat GPT in the world of work is similar to what happened during Industrial Revolution for agriculture. It completely changes the perspective of the way you see labor, the way you see workforce, the way you think about those concentric circles inside organizations. When you think about teams, productivity, you think about resilience, you think about employee leaving, all of these things. Does it change really? How are you seeing it as a CHR?
You see, this is not going to solve the word hunger problem. Okay, so when I say that, that means this is a very good support system, excellent support system, and people who can use, they will make best use of it. However, this is for example, they all kinds of people. Some people will make best use, as I said. The other people who are dependent, who know, who one dependent कि कोई बताएगा तो सुनूंगा, अगर समझाएगा, कोई बोलेगा, कोई वीडियो दिखाएगा, कोई ये करेगा, या don't want to learn somehow, किसी को जैसे स्कूल में कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जिनको पकड़ पकड़ के सिखाना पड़ता है, बताना पड़ता है, वो सब चीजों को वो एक कवर होते ही नहीं इसमें. तो so therefore automatically मेरे ख्याल से 20-25% से ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन इसके डायरेक्ट दायरे में नहीं आने वाली, राइट? सो हैविंग सेड दैट, इसमें there are some people who are very the chat GPT is being banned also at some places because because the people feel it is going to be very harmful. So see, what happens is, all said and done, because it is not a human being, so howsoever intelligent, but it is still artificial. Okay, so अब आप देखते हो इंटरनेट में there are whole lot of data or information available which may not be accurate, which may be misleading, right? So, and this engine will not know which is authentic and which is not authentic. So therefore, many a times it can give you responses which are not right. And if you do not apply your mind to filter out or to understand whether this is accurate or not, it may lead to some disasters, because if you have taken all the decision based on whatever chat GPT has suggested you, there are chances, maybe 5%, 10%, there are chances that may be a wrong thing to do, right? So that is one. And second is the many a times there are ethical issues. For example, even on internet there are all kinds of contents available. We all know that, which are offensive culturally or ethically. So this engine will not be able to differentiate even those. So maybe our children are using it, or maybe some person using it who should not be exposed to those kind of contents, and there is a possibility that it brings it up because it doesn't know what is offensive or not. So that way, this technology has some limitations. So therefore, we need people who can deal with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I would like to add here, Shantanu, I would like to add here to what Rajesh said. I've read something really interesting about AI. There are three kinds of people for AI. One, who will be defending it, defenders. Yeah. Then second are the developers who will be developing AI. And the third are the deployers who will deploy this tool for their own benefit. So three categorization of people would be using this AI, the 3Ds. So I think that would be, yeah.
Oh, well said. In the interest of time, I just have one last question for you, Aashish. Why don't you help me concluding that case? In that case, Nirupama talked about the fact that repetitive tasks will become irrelevant in times to come. They can be replaced. Rajesh said that possibly it can impact 25% of job roles, which are showing up somewhere there. How do you think in that context can employees keep themselves relevant? Whatever skill set they should pick up in times to come?
I think we need to understand that, as I always say, that we are evolving. Do you remember cyber cafes? We used to see them all over. They're gone now. So there is always a shift in industries and technology and, in workforce and all that. This is going to happen. We cannot say that it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. It happens with every industry. Now, the most important thing is to be ahead with times, or to be with times, learning the tools which are there for you. So I think the most important skill, and which we all have, we don't know, is probably being adaptive, to adapt to new things. And we are, as human beings, we know how to adapt. It's just that we are not ready to adapt because it's uncomfortable. But ultimately, we need to. And that's what would be required. We need to adapt the new technology which is coming in. We cannot say, no, please do not come. We don't want to. It's going to come. If you won't use it, somebody else would. And somebody who is using this tool will go faster than you.
Yeah.
That is where we need to keep the pace. That is more important.
Agree.
Use it as a tool. Take it with positivity and take it, as if somebody is there to help you out. I think that's the positive outlook you can have. You can always look at it in different perspective, but this is what I feel.
Adaptability alongside the other cognitive skills is possibly we need to
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's something is irreplaceable. Thank you so much. And I love discussion with all of you, Nirupama, Rajesh, Aashish. This is an interesting discussion. In the interest of time, I'll have to stop here and possibly hand it over to Nilaksha. Over to you, Nilaksha.
Thank you so much, Shantanu. And what a discussion. I mean, how many spectrums have we touched? And, when I was going through this discussion, as intrigued I was getting, there was one example I thought I will table to be of conclusion to this discussion. So I come from Calcutta. Most of my life I've lived in Calcutta. And Calcutta is a land where we resist everything that comes to us in the beginning. And funnily, we then become very sweet adapters to that as well with time. So the one establishment that came into my mind when you guys were talking is that there was a time when our passport seva kendra, right? It used to be a nightmare of a living being. And I remember when I got my first passport, which was like years ago, I don't even want to quote the number, but that many years ago, I remember standing in a queue outside of the office because there wasn't enough space inside of the office, in a queue for behind about 45 to 50 people in Calcutta's sweltering heat. And today, when I got my latest passport renewed because it was expiring, I walked in very nicely to a very savvy cabin and came out of it exactly in 40 minutes. I was timing myself. It was exactly in 40 minutes, right? That's an evolution we have seen. And we know the kind of contribution technology has had in this evolution to happen. So I think what all of you very beautifully put across with the various spectrums that you touched, that it is here to stay. There is nothing to feel scared about it because you cannot run away from it. The way you couldn't run away from the internet and the laptops and the computers, you cannot run away from evolving technology because that is where the world is going to go. It is about how nicely, how flexibly we adapt to it and how best we use it, because end of the day, artificial will still stay artificial. Our own intelligence will still stay ours. So it's about the beauty of not letting artificial intelligence become our masters and let it stay the other way around. I think that's my takeaway from this beautiful discussion. And I knew it would be intriguing, flowing, and it would touch a variety of spectrums given, the august audience I have here today. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this could have gotten better. Thank you for your time and hope to see you, much more of you, in recent times to come. And happy CHAT GPT, I would say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Enjoyed talking
Nilaksha.
to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
And
You too.
thank you,
Bye.
Shantanu. You've been a wonderful host. I think that's
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you, Nilaksha. Bye.
Thanks, Ashish. Thanks,
Bye,
Nirupama.
Ashish, Nirupama.
Bye.
Nice meeting. Yeah.